good afternoon, depending on what part of the country you are in. If you are listening to this webinar, then we'll make sure that you're in the right spot because you are here today to hear a little bit about a flexible work option. My name is Emily A. Hay, and our company is Hey There Social Media. But before I go into anything else, you may be here because of our dear friend, Amanda Vlastez. So Amanda, how are you today?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for arranging this. I'm so glad that, as I mentioned, I'm so passionate about moms having the opportunity to rediscover themselves after having kids and kind of getting, losing maybe who they are and their identity. So this is just an amazing platform, and I can't say enough good things about the course. So.
Thank you, Amanda. Well, we know we'll hear more from you, and we obviously have other members from the Hey There team. So I'm happy to go right into, at least I'll pull up our visuals here. We're going to go through a deck to, again, make sure that everyone that listens to this gets the information about a flexible work option. This is truly an educational experience. We plan to have you here for 30 minutes or less, and we want to make sure that you walk away knowing an option that you didn't know existed, and that you have a clear way to be able to leverage this new option should you have an interest in doing so. So that's what today is. And again, thank you, Amanda, so much for getting the word out to your incredible community about our webinar today. If it weren't for West University moms, then we wouldn't be able to spread the word about this option that not only has worked for us, but is working for plenty of women across the country when it comes to working flexibly. So today, as I said, you've got the four of us. You've got three of us from Team Hey There. And Amanda, again, thank you for what you do for your community. If there's anything else that you'd like to cover, certainly interject. But a little bit of background, how we got to know you. So Hey There Social Media is the company that Allie, Kelly, and I are with, and Hey There teamed up with the Local Moms Network. And of course, it's a national organization, and Amanda is the founder of the West University Moms site for the Local Moms Network. So natural synergies existed, and we've had the pleasure of getting to know Amanda by having her take our training, enroll in our core training, as we call it at Hey There, to really just upskill and to improve those social media skills, not that even need improvement, but to be able to really package social media marketing into a viable way that you can help businesses and you can work flexibly as their social media manager. So we have a lot to unpack and a lot to demystify. So before I go any further, again, I'm Emily A. Hay. I'm the founder of Hey There. You'll hear from me through most of the slides, but I have my team here that will also be speaking. So Kelly, do you want to just do a quick intro, please?
Hey there, everybody. I'm Kelly Robinson. I'm in the Detroit area. I've got 4 kids ranging from 6 to 16, and I'm just thrilled to be here to support. I'm the director of our insider experience at Hey There, so certainly reach out if you have any questions or ideas or thoughts.
And Kelly, you'll be manning our chat. Thank you for being willing to do that. Yes, throw anything in chat. Allie, go for it.
Hi, everybody. I'm Allie Spitzer. I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. And I am a partner and COO with Emily, working every day to help women find meaningful, fulfilling, and flexible work so they don't have to sacrifice their time with their children and the rest of the responsibilities in their lives. So happy to be here.
Amazing. Thanks, ladies. And like I said, I know we want to be formal with our timing because we have a lot to cover, but we're also informal, that any of you ladies, chime in, take yourself off mute if you have a question as we go along. So today, what we're going to run through with you, we will give you a lay of the land, what the social media industry looks like today, and the exciting part, what it looks like today for flexible workers. We will really peel back the layers on being a social media manager and just talk about what that means and what skills you would need to have in order to do this. And then the next thing that we'll cover is certainly how to get into this line of work, working as a freelance social media manager. We have specific examples, and of course, we're going to talk about some earning, and then we'll be sure to wrap up with some next steps for anyone. So at Hey There, we spend a lot of time in this zone just talking about this problem that is universal to so many women in particular, because of our caregiving responsibilities. And I am preaching to the choir that if we didn't know flexibility was a necessity before the pandemic, then we certainly do now. So clearly, corporate America is not a fit for all workers. It is not necessarily a fit for people with caregiving duties. So we talk, like I said, a lot about women needing a professional, viable skill set that allows them to be work-life integrators and can also be a versatile skill set that they can say, you know what, I worked for myself on a contract basis for a while, and then I used those skills to do more of a traditional workforce reentry. So the skill set that we're talking about, yes, Marie, as we call her, but what should she do and how does she do it? Well, we talk a lot about Marie being an independent social media manager. So this slide here, yes, it's an eye chart and there are a lot of data points on here, but this is just to let you know that if you aren't convinced already, social media is clearly a booming industry. It's not going away. Not only is it not going away, believe it or not, businesses are still struggling. They still are not utilizing social media as well as they could. And we're talking small local brick and mortar businesses on up to the national and global brands too. So not only are businesses struggling with social, so many of those businesses want to reach female decision makers. So a huge feather in our cap is that we are usually members of their target audience. And so we make great social media managers for businesses that are trying to reach us. Now, this second section is just to let you know, again, if you've been busy and you've had your blinders on and are just wondering, well, what does the working world look like today? Freelance is mainstream, net. That's something that Allie and we wrote this article for Fast Company not too long ago that really talked about, we don't have to convince people that freelance is a legit way to work anymore. And it's not only reserved for freelance writers or freelance photographers. Freelance professionals are legit, they are earning full incomes, and businesses are embracing those freelance workers the same way that they would embrace a full-time employee. So that maybe that burden isn't on the freelance professional anymore to convince that they do have credibility. So what we went on to say, I'm sure you're reading some of these stats, but this article we went on to say is, even though freelance is mainstream, it's really dangerous to tell people to just go freelance, just go do it, because it's something that many of us are eligible to do, but it does still take some skill sets and some honing around how you want to hit the ground as a freelance professional. So here we go. Let's go down this path about, well, let's talk about one way to be a freelancer, and that would be as a freelance social media manager. So to level set, businesses will hire you. So that can be, as I mentioned, those small local businesses that say, you know, I really just need someone to run my Instagram, or it can be a larger scope of work for maybe a larger business that says, well, we're looking for someone to be able to manage our Instagram, do our social media ads, and once a month, let us know how that's all going. So doing some social media metrics and some data tracking, that's really what businesses, like I said, are looking for help with. And let's demystify, that's how it works. You know, businesses will hire you as a contractor to do that. You are working for yourself. If you are an independent contractor, you are an entrepreneur. You are a small business owner. You are a consultant, whatever noun you'd like to give it. I do see that some women get kind of caught up in that. Well, I never considered myself a small business owner, or I thought if I used to work in corporate and now I work for myself, I thought I was a consultant. Well, we don't want to get caught in the nouns, but essentially you are working for yourself. And so that's what makes this work so flexibly. I will say that's not the only way that you can work with this skill set. We've seen people that do this on a freelance basis, and then maybe that client says, do you want to come on staff with us? I'm getting ahead, but just letting you know that there's a number of ways to apply this. So the wide range of services, I find that most folks will say, oh, like writing and posting, like social media managers, they write the content, they post the content. Yes, that's part of it, but that is literally 1% of it. So this wide range of services that a social media manager offers can include a few of the things I mentioned earlier, such as social media ads, so paid social media metrics tracking, There's a whole component of doing online review management. What about influencer campaigns? You name it, there are certain areas that you can really expand your services as a social media manager that is outside of the simple writing and posting. And what I mean by many avenues to work, so I think I covered that a bit just by you can be an independent contractor that does this work, but you can also contract under agencies that are not looking to hire full-time, but they are looking to expand their team so they can do more work for their clients. You can also take this expertise and, as I said, go work in a more traditional full-time capacity as an employee. And there's, like I said, a number of ways that you can split up services to even provide coaching or strategy. What I mean by that, a business says, we think we have someone on our team that can do social, but we don't know what they should be doing. So you could say, I'd like to do some social media consulting for you and offer some services in that capacity. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the benefits here. So the social media industry, I know I covered it with our eye chart slide, but not only is this an in-demand industry, it's an in-demand skill set. So we know that social is here to stay, as I've said, but everyone seems to want to know someone who does social media marketing. So, you need a good bookkeeper and you need a good lawyer, but it's funny, you go to networking events or you just post on social and everyone's looking for someone that knows how to do social media. So it's certainly a great thing to have. You are not too far past the point of social media starting to still be very much in demand. I've covered the flexibility piece of this, although to peel back one layer, the flexible work data point, there's a difference between working flexibly and flexible work. And so we saw through the pandemic, there were a lot of jobs that allowed you to work flexibly, take your laptop at home, but then you're chained to your laptop the whole time. But there's a difference with truly flexible work that you can do when your child is napping or when your child is asleep at night or different times of day. It is very flexible work. Ramping up or down. So we love talking about seasons of motherhood. There are seasons that need us more and some that potentially need us less. So that's something you can just balance your client workload depending on your personal bandwidth. And setting your own rates is certainly its own science in this industry, but that goes hand in hand with being an independent professional, is that you can decide this is what I'm going to charge for certain services. And you can also decide these are services I don't want to offer. It's not necessarily tied into a standard part of the job. I'll move along here just to show. So I usually get the question about, okay, so am I qualified or who is this good for? So this is just a way to kind of say, well, am I a good fit for being a social media manager? Because I bet your head is going right to, well, I don't use social media every day, or I don't use all of the social networks, or, well, I really use this one, but I don't know too much about Twitter, for example. So there are some things that you should keep in mind that you are qualified to do this. So are you creative? That's probably one of the number one things I hear from women that get into social media marketing is that they feel that they're creative. They feel like they have an outlet to be able to bring their ideas to the table, whether it's for their clients' content or for their own content. But visually, some ladies really enjoy getting into Canva and making graphics for clients. We've seen social media managers that are personally way passionate about photography. And so they will do pictures and offer services for their clients' content. So that can be something too that you work into your services. And are you social media savvy? So no formal prerequisites. We women are so quick to discount ourselves and say, oh, I'm not qualified to learn this. But as long as you have what we call a working knowledge of social media, this is something that you can learn and you can fine tune. And once you know all the things on one network, I bet you're shortchanging yourself to not think you could apply that to the next network. You don't have to be oh, go ahead, Allie, go ahead.
I was just going to interject. A lot of the feedback that we get initially is, well, I don't really do that well. I'm not on my own account that much. And I think it's a lot like acting. A lot of actors have stage fright if they go on a stage as themselves, but you're representing and doing the work as a professional for a client. It's kind of like having a character. It's not necessary to have a strong presence in your personal life to be able to be great at this job.
I love that point. And other things that are not required to be a part of this job, the whole extrovert introvert thing. You know, a lot of people say, oh gosh, I'm super introverted and I don't really want to go to a networking event and shake all the hands. But on social media, you are doing that virtually for your client. And we see that that doesn't become a barrier of how social or outgoing of a person you are, as long as you enjoy making that connection for your client. Because again, you're being hired to do their social media. And one of the parts of the job is to engage their followers in that business's content. Another thing I find myself talking about is this whole clear communicator part. So I prefer video. It takes me a long time to write a blog post. You don't have to be a formal author. As long as you come across clear in writing, as long as you are a clear communicator, maybe you have customer service experience, or there was a time in your life where you were in sales. You can check this box. You're a clear communicator. But I do have women that will also say, I love to write. I never have an opportunity to write. And so then they can channel that skill of theirs as a social media manager, not necessarily a limited freelance writer only. Okay, so this next slide here. So I'm going to talk from our personal experience of just meeting other women that are doing this work today. That was part of what we wanted to cover is, hey, there's coming from an authentic place that Kelly, Allie, and I, like, we live in this swim lane all day long of helping women become independent social media managers. So if you look at this, it's just a focus group. These are women from all over the country. Some had resume gaps. Some, took a full-time pause from a professional role to be caregivers. We see that a variety of professional backgrounds apply for women that want to pick up a social media manager skill set. And there's all kinds of family and marital configurations. And to zoom in a little more, I know you have Kelly here live and in the flesh virtually, but this screenshot is just to show you a couple of other women from different parts of the country that have come to Hey There Social Media and have gone through our core training and have come out the other side and have applied this knowledge in a number of ways. So anyone that's looking at this slide can certainly read about Sansari and Layla, but Kelly, is there anything you just want to touch on since your lovely face is here on our slide?
Hi. Yeah, it's something that I see consistently talking with a variety of women from all different backgrounds, all different experiences, education, kid life, everything, that there's really no one perfect person, type of person, or anything that fits the mold, so to speak, of somebody that is successful and enjoys learning and doing this business. And so definitely has been a blessing that I was able to shift and kind of do a professional pivot right around the time that I noticed I needed to be definitely as flexible as possible with my 4 kids. So.
Thank you, Kelly. Yes. And I know you have that teaching and sales background. And so, yeah, a number of ways to leverage this, but so glad to have you. This, a quick screenshot into a day in the life, as we like to say. So you're reading a bit from a woman named Kimberly Herman, who is on the East Coast, and she's someone who went through our program. As you can see from her short testimonial here, this is actually outdated. She's been doing this for way longer than 9 months at this point, but she met Hey There with 0 formal freelance social media manager experience. I give Kimberly the credit. She is a woman who was willing to move forward without all of the answers. And she has a real, I'll figure it out as I go attitude. And that's a huge asset for really anything in life. But I've seen that has done so much for her in particular. Back to a couple of the things that she or any social media manager would spend their day doing. You definitely get into that content creator role. And that's what I mentioned with applying your creativity. And you can come up with different visuals and videos to tell your client's story. Community manager. So that's a part of the role that we talked a little bit about. You are social networking for your client's business. That's something that's really important to people that want to serve the local business owner. You know, they know that these local businesses are strapped for time. They don't have a lot of people. And if you can help expand their online footprint as a community manager, it's really fulfilling. It's really a fun part of the job and fulfilling to make those connections that when that customer goes into that local business and says, oh, I loved your Instagram post about whatever topic, then that's all because of you. So it's really fulfilling. This other part here, Kimberly really embodies this too, this potential for growth. So not only did Kimberly start doing social media for podcast hosts, people that host a podcast, they of course need a good social media presence. So Kimberly started doing social for them. Then she taught herself how to do podcast production, which is not the norm to teach yourself that. And it is very much different than social media management, but she added that to her skill set. So she works with podcast hosts and she can do podcast production, and she's self-taught in the podcast production space. And she also had a social media client that had her, the client had Kimberly come to a retreat and lead a social media workshop. And who do you think Kimberly was talking to in that audience? Other small business owners that needed social media management services. So she's just been a really great example of new opportunities that can unfold that you won't even see before you get going. Should I take a quick pause, Kelly, and check the chat? Are we doing okay over there? Okay, great. So let's talk about some earning potential. Skipping around a bit here. So if I had a dime for every time someone asked this question. So as you can see here, you know, through this webinar, I've been talking a lot about the independent contractor situation. So sky's the limit. You are an entrepreneur, you are a small business owner, but I like to put pen to paper and say, so what are we talking here? So as you can see, a lot of it varies based on the scope of work. And to be honest, there are variables in which part of the country you live in. So this little snapshot is just, it's like the zoomed in view. Like, let's really zoom in and see one small business that says, you know, I have a small budget and I'd like some help from a professional. That would be this $500 to $750 a month retainer, which, as you can see, translates to an hourly rate. And then those larger projects, I'm making it finite, but it truly has the plus of, it depends what you're doing, but clients that are more medium-sized businesses or even larger, of course, are going to have a different budget than a local brick and mortar. And so the translation of what that is to hourly dramatically changes. As you can see here too, that most social media managers that we've worked with certainly take on more than one project at a time, but it's not required. It's up to you of how you choose to spend your time. I did put this note here, just a little Glassdoor data of an annual salary. When I checked this at the end of 2022, you can see that annual salary. The note I would make is just, again, highlighting that most social media managers that have gone through our program will take on more than one project. So it is very quickly a higher price to yourself. You're making more than you would if you went with a traditional salary in the field. Okay, so we'll talk about timing. So what I mean by timing is just, so you've been listening, your wheels are turning, you're like, this sounds great, but maybe I'll get around to it next year. Maybe I'll get around to it next month. How about now? And this is really just to speak to the hearts of us moms, that timing's never perfect. And if you look at how you spend your time, you know, you've got the kids, and then you shove everything else, and where are you? And where is your professional fulfillment? But if you are listening to this information, there's already something inside of you that is curious. And it's something that, like I said, you can learn the skills, you are qualified. It's a versatile skill set that can take you in many different directions. So I'm going to scroll next to, I'm watching our time here. So this also looks like an eye chart, but this is Hey There Social Media in a nutshell. And this is what we talk about, our core training. And again, how we first met Amanda. So this core training wheel, or this pie that you're looking at, this has all of the topics that we train our independent social media managers on. Now, off to the right here, you can see that our training is a tuition-based program. So it's $2,997. And we do have a promo code. Thank you so much, West University moms, for offering this promo code. You get $250 off, and we can certainly help you take advantage of that promo code. But in a nutshell, what this includes, you're going to get your core training. And that's these 14 hours, these 14 modules of live training. We are happy to go through all the details on this, but please know that you'll spend 6 weeks flexibly consuming live Zoom training. If you can't make one because it's the same time as your kid's baseball game, we record it. You can certainly catch it later. But after you complete core training with Hey There, you will get a proof of completion NFT. If you don't know what an NFT is, that's okay, but it's Web3 speak for a certification. It's a validation that you have learned the skills that Hey There teaches and that you set yourself apart from other self-proclaimed social media managers. Now, this next piece, again, this is super detailed at this early intro of us on our webinar here, but basically we say that once your training stops, your support with Hey There can just begin. We are very passionate about not filling the world with lonely freelancers. And so we offer this optional ongoing support piece that 3 months are included with our core training, and we have everything bulleted out here of what that includes. But this is really where you finish your training, you say, okay, now I'm ready to go do my first proposal, and I have a couple of questions. And so our Hey There team is there for you to support and answer those questions as just one of the things that's part of our ongoing support. So again, there's the core training, that's the tuition-based investment, and then there's the optional monthly membership. So we'll talk some other next steps. So if you've made it this far, thank you. So excited to have you still here and learning about this option. What we have in front of you is, let's make some clear next steps. So this huge QR code is going to take you right to Hey There's website. This beautiful screenshot is from Amanda's Instagram profile, and I have highlighted in yellow, she does have her discount link. Now, if you would like to hear more about this, we're going to ask you to contact us. So you can do that by going to the website, and on the website at the very bottom, oh, I just noticed my bullets are all #1. So they're all a #1 priority. Visit Hey There's website, schedule a call with us. You can schedule it using our Calendly link. It's in the footer of the site, but it says, schedule your call with the Hey There team. It's Allie, Kelly, or I. So the 3 of us who you're hearing from today, we know that a lot of people like to be able to just schedule that at their convenience. Or if you don't want to schedule a call and you'd like to just message us a little bit, here is our email address. And you can also send a DM to us on Instagram. So our Instagram handle is right there, Hey There Social Media. We check that regularly. And really, we just want to be super open that this is a lot to think through. And we love hearing from women that want to know, like, well, how could this look for me? And so as grateful as we are that you've taken in this information today, we would love to talk to you about what this could look like for you. And honestly, if it weren't for Amanda, we wouldn't have this chance to talk about this in the first place. And it's just our pleasure to be able to spread the word, to just give you a little bit of an incentive with a discount by using Amanda's promo code. So as I wrap up, it might be a miracle if I got this done under 30 minutes. I would ask if any of the other ladies on the Zoom with me have anything to add.
Well, I'll just say I'm in the middle of the course, and it's just incredible. I can't say enough good things about it. It's so organized. It's so detailed. I do social media myself, and I've learned so much just from this course that I can bring into West University moms that I wouldn't have even known of. So I just think it's an incredible program for moms or anyone who's looking for some flexible work. So yeah, I'm thrilled.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you so much. I mean, again, I put you in that category of, we don't have to have all the answers, but we'll just get going because we'll figure things out as we go. And if it's not for you putting your energy and time into this, then we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So thank you again. Allie, Kelly, thanks for joining. We can't wait to have our calendar full of times to chat with all of you. I mean it, you are talking right to Kelly, Allie, or myself, or all 3 of us. So please, that next step slide again is just to contact us. And we really appreciate you watching today.
Thank you.
Anything in chat? Are we good?
Yeah, we're good in chat. Let's
Okay.
see. Lauren's asking, are you sending out a copy of the webinar since we missed the beginning? So we have it recorded.
Absolutely. Yes, yes. Anyone that is registered for today, I will make sure you get the recording. I will have that to you today. Anything else on there, Kelly? Are we good?
No, that's good. That's great. You guys, thank you so much for chiming in and hopping on. That's helpful.
Amazing. Thank you, ladies. Thanks for your time and attention. Thanks, Amanda.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Everyone.
Bye.